Hello, hello Philippines! Hello Tayum City! It's another episode full of learning and fun. Here in School on Air, I am your teacher Dan Arvin V. Almero. Hello sa atong mga suking tigpaminaw sa number 1 station diri sa Dapan sa Tagum 98.3 Gold FM. Kuya, no? Ayan, hello po sa atong mga kauban sa buhat nga always nagapaminaw diya sa La Filipina National High School headed by our certified castig principal, Dr. Jeffrey C. Villarosa. Hello, sir. And of course, sa atong mga mabtikon nga master teacher, especially sa among master teacher in MAPE Department sa Y Paglabig-Dapig, Sir Reggie P. Limsan and Miss Rochelle P. Limreva. Wow, kabalo ba mo mga students, this TeleRadyo MAPE 8 is live in our school official Facebook page. That is why I really encourage our listeners to sit back and get your paper and pen ready since we will now start this wonderful journey together with our teacher broadcaster this afternoon. A dedicated MAPE teacher from Grade 8 Department, none other than Ma'am Jessica Hevela. Take it away, Ma'am.
Thank you so much for that wonderful introduction, Teacher Dan. So, hello my dear learners and listeners, mga kaastig. Welcome to another lesson on MAPE 8, specifically Health 8. So, without further ado, let us brace ourselves. You may prepare a piece of paper and a ball pen as we begin our lesson. So for the objectives, I'm going to read to you. At the end of the lesson, you will be able to first, share a trivia about alcohol drinking. Second, identify short-term and long-term effects of drinking alcohol. And describe short-term and long-term effects of drinking alcohol by creating an acrostic poem. So these are in line with the MELC or the most essential learning competency. Describe the harmful short and long-term effects of drinking alcohol. So those are our objectives for today. Alright? So let's start for our first task. Did you know? Alright? I'm going to share to you a trivia about alcohol. So did you know that it takes 6 minutes for the brain to start to react to alcohol? Alright, 6 minutes. So after 6 minutes, you're going to experience already the effects of alcohol. Alright? So this time, it's your turn to share a trivia about alcohol. So you can research on the internet and post it as a comment on our Facebook Live streaming. Okay? Facebook Live comment section. Okay? So I will wait for that. So without further ado, our topic for today is short-term and long-term effects of drinking alcohol. But first, let us know what is alcohol. So when we say alcohol, it is a colorless and bitter-tasting substance that comes from plants that underwent fermentation. So what is fermentation? When we say fermentation, it is a process of extracting alcohol from a plant or a fruit. So for example, beer comes from grains or barley specifically, while wine comes from grapes. So that is fermentation. Okay? Furthermore, there are short-term and long-term effects of drinking alcohol. Okay? Harmful short-term and long-term effects. So what is short-term? When we say short-term, it happens for only a short period of time. So mararamdaman mo agad-agad. After 6 minutes, you may experience something that affects your body or your brain or your feelings. So on the other hand, when we say long term, it happens and continues for many years or far into the future. So when we say long term, you will not immediately experience these effects. However, on the long run, especially if you drink on a regular basis, you may experience some detrimental effects or harmful effects. Alright? So let's discuss further short-term effects of alcohol. When a person drinks alcohol, it enters the bloodstream and goes in all parts of the body. It immediately affects the central nervous system, which controls one's mental processes, memory, speech, learning, and decision making. Alright? So short-term effects of alcohol include, first, impaired speech, memory, hearing and vision, loss of balance and coordination, slower reaction time. So if you drink alcohol, you may not act or decide properly, and also lightheadedness. So after probably 6 minutes or so, you can already experience these effects. So you will experience a change in your body or in your state of mind. Okay, so those are some of the short-term effects of alcohol. Alright, so let's move on to the long-term effects of alcohol. Okay, a person becomes an alcoholic when he or she drinks obsessively and compulsively without his or her control. So this addiction may lead to serious diseases and even death. Alright, so alcohol is deadly when you drink too much of it. Right? Some long-term effects of drinking alcohol are cirrhosis. So when we say cirrhosis, this is a disease of the liver. Okay? Cancers, there are different cancers cancers that you can obtain from drinking alcohol, such as mouth cancer, throat cancer, esophagus cancer, and also stomach cancer. You can also obtain high blood pressure and brain damage. So the worst case scenario, if you drink too much alcohol, you may die, right? It can result to death. Okay, so let's watch or listen to a clip that will explain further about the effects of drinking alcohol. Right, so stay tuned.
Can you think of one way that alcohol affects the body? In this video, we're going to learn about alcohol's long-term and short-term effects. Alcohol belongs to the class of drugs known as depressants. Depressants slow down reaction times, decrease inhibitions, damage brain cells, relax users, and make them more sociable. Which organ or organs in the body do you think this affects? If you said our brain and nervous system, you're right. Your brain has three main divisions that are all affected by alcohol. Firstly, alcohol affects the forebrain, which is responsible for motor control and decision making. Drinkers become clumsy, slur their speech, lose their inhibitions and ability to make sensible choices. Secondly, alcohol affects the midbrain, causing drinkers to lose emotional control and increases the chances of them passing out. Thirdly, it affects the hindbrain, including the brainstem, which controls appetite, body temperature, heart rate, and consciousness. People might look red after drinking alcohol because it causes vasodilation, increased blood flow to the skin. This shouldn't be confused with the alcohol flush reaction, which is very common in East Asia. This is a syndrome where the body is unable to process alcohol properly, and a symptom of this is a very red, blotchy face and other body parts. Drinking alcohol can be dangerous, as people may do things they would not usually do, as they are unable to judge risks and make reasoned decisions. If people consume a large amount of alcohol, they may become unconscious, and this can also be fatal, particularly if they vomit while asleep, when they can choke on their own vomit. Drinking alcohol can have serious consequences for people around the drinker too. It can make people more violent and is linked with reports of domestic violence. Drinking alcohol before driving is dangerous because it impairs the speed of processing information and so increases reaction time. It also affects coordination, vision, concentration, and judgment. The long-term effects of drinking on the body can also be severe. Alcohol robs the body of vitamin B complex, a vital group of nutrients deficiency of which can cause skin damage, diarrhea, and depression. The liver removes alcohol from the bloodstream. It has enzymes that break down alcohol, but the products of the reactions involved are toxic. They damage the liver, and over time this leads to cirrhosis. It can also cause hepatitis and liver cancer. Stomach ulcers can be caused as alcohol irritates the stomach lining. Heavy drinking can cause heavy and irregular periods in women and also affect fertility in both sexes. Drinking alcohol during pregnancy can have consequences for the fetus. Drinking alcohol, especially in the first 3 months of pregnancy, increases the risk of miscarriage, premature birth, and low birth weight. Drinking heavily throughout pregnancy can cause the baby to develop a serious condition called fetal alcohol syndrome. People with fetal alcohol syndrome have poor growth facial abnormalities, learning, and behavioral problems. Alcoholism is a disorder where people cannot control the amount of alcohol they drink. They are addicted to alcohol. They have a very strong urge to consume it, and without help and support, these people may suffer for the long-term problems mentioned before. So now you know the long-term and short-term effects of drinking alcohol, both for the drinker and the individuals around them.
Alright, so that was it for our discussion. To recap, these are the short-term and long-term effects of alcohol. So short-term effects include impaired speech, memory, hearing and vision, loss of balance and coordination, slower reaction time, cannot act and decide properly, and lightheadedness. So others include impaired judgment, unconsciousness, slurred speech, drowsiness, headaches, and vomiting. Meanwhile, long-term effects include cirrhosis, cancers, high blood pressure, brain damage, vitamin B deficiency, infertility, liver disease, malnutrition, and stomach ulcers. So that was it for our discussion. Let's move on to another task. Right? So task 3, short-term or long-term. Direction. Identify if the following is a short-term or long-term effect of drinking alcohol. So on your paper, you will write S if it is a short-term effect and L if it is a long-term effect. So you will have 5 seconds to answer, and after hearing the sound, that means your time is up. Alright, so are you ready? Alright, let's begin. So item number 1, brain damage. Once again, brain damage. Alright, timer starts now. Alright, time is up. So the correct answer for item number 1, brain damage, that is L, or long-term effect. Alright, okay, so let's move on to item number 2. For item number 2, impaired speech. Once again, impaired speech. Right, timer starts now. Time is up, everyone. Let's reveal the answer. The correct answer for item number 2 is S. So this time, impaired speech is a short-term effect of drinking alcohol. Alright, let's move on. Item number 3, cirrhosis. Again, cirrhosis. Timer starts now. Time is up. The correct answer for item number 3 is L. Alright, that is a long-term effect, liver cirrhosis. Cirrhosis is the disease, a disease of the liver. And then item number 4, slower reaction time. Again, slower reaction time. Timer starts now. Time is up. The correct answer for item number 4 is S. Alright? Slower reaction time is another short-term effect of drinking alcohol. And for our last item, loss of balance. Once again, item number 5, loss of balance. Timer starts now. Alright, time is up, everyone. The correct answer for item number 5 is S. Okay, that is another short-term effect, loss of balance. Alright? So, we are now done on our first quiz. How did you score? Did you get all items correctly? Alright, if you got all items correctly, congratulations and job well done. Right? If you did not get all items correctly, you still had a good job for your effort and your participation. So you still have another chance to have a perfect score in our next quiz. Right? This is a multiple choice quiz. So I will read a situation and you will identify which effect is being described on the situation. So you're just going to write the letter of the correct answer. So once again, you will have 5 seconds to answer, and if you hear the sound, that means your time is up. Alright, without further ado, let's start with item number 1. Okay, alcohol drinker A was drinking alcohol with some friends. After drinking 1 glass of wine, alcohol drinker A started to become a little relaxed and started reacting slowly. Alright, choices are letter A, slower reaction time. Letter B, impaired speech. And letter C, impaired memory. Alright, timer starts now. Time is up. Alright, let's reveal the answer. The correct answer for item number 1 is slower reaction time. So the keywords here are little relaxed and started reacting slowly. So alcohol drinker A started feeling relaxed. So that means he or she started to react slowly. So that is a short-term effect of drinking alcohol. Right, let's move on to the next item. Item number 2. Due to excessive drinking, the alcoholic developed fatty liver that caused the organ to malfunction. Upon medical checkup, it was found out that the alcoholic's liver was already seriously damaged. Alright? So which of the following is being described in the situation? So the choices are A, brain damage, letter B, cirrhosis, and letter C, tolerance. Okay? So you have 5 seconds. Timer starts now. Time is up. Let's reveal the answer. The correct answer for item number 2 is letter B, cirrhosis. So, obviously the keyword is liver damage or fatty liver. So, that is letter B, cirrhosis. That is a long-term effect of alcohol. Okay? Next item, item number 3. Alcohol drinker B was admitted in the ICU and is now in coma. He or she cannot talk and move anymore. The alcoholic's nervous system is already damaged. Right? Which of the following is being described? Letter A, high blood pressure. Letter B, cirrhosis. And letter C, brain damage. Okay? Timer starts now. Alright, time is up. Let's reveal the answer. The correct answer for item number 3 is brain damage because he or she cannot talk anymore, and he or she is now in the ICU and is now in coma. So his or her brain is already damaged. So that is another long-term effect. Alright, let's move on to item number 4, our last item. So after drinking many bottles of alcoholic drinks, an alcoholic drinker could not stand and walk properly while going home. So which of the following is being described in the situation? Letter A, loss of memory. Letter B, loss of balance and coordination. And letter C, impaired speech. Right? 5 seconds to answer. Timer starts now. Time is up. Let's reveal the answer. The correct answer for item number 4 is letter B, loss of balance and coordination. So the keywords are could not stand and walk properly. So that is for loss of balance and coordination. That is another short-term effect of drinking alcohol. Alright, so that was it for our quiz, check-up quiz. So how did you score? Alright, if you got all items correctly, then very good. And if you did not, it's okay. You still had a very good job. And thank you so much for your participation. And lastly, for your assignment, I will read to you the assignment. Make an acrostic poem about alcohol by using each letter of the word. So you're going to use descriptive words and make sure to include the short-term and long-term effects of drinking alcohol. So the topic that we just discussed earlier. Follow the rubric as a guide to answer. So you're going to pass your output to your MAPE teacher. So the rubric for this is the criteria are: first, short-term and long-term effects of alcohol are included in the lines. Okay, so that is for 15 points. And second, the ideas are clear, original, and creative. Okay, that is for 10 points. So a total of 25 points. So to explain further, an acrostic poem is, for example, the first line starts with letter A. So that is for the first line. And the second line starts with letter L. And the third line starts with letter C, and so on and so forth. So your poem will look like ALCOHOL on the first letter. So alcohol, right? So I hope you understood that well. And you still have some questions, you may post a comment on the Facebook Live streaming, and also you can PM me or you can message me on Facebook. Alright? So that was it for our lesson. I hope you have learned something for today. Thank you so much for everyone who made this episode possible, and thank you so much for staying with me and listening and staying with me until the end. So once again, this has been your teacher broadcaster, Teacher Jessica, and always remember, stay safe, stay healthy, stay away from alcohol. So always pray and thank God for another day of your life. Okay? God bless everyone.
Naway marami kayong natutunan sa leksyon natin ngayong hapon. Nagagala kami na kayo'y aming nakasama sa pagtalakay ng isang bagong leksyon sa MAPE 8 dito sa Gold FM 98.3. Muli, I am your teacher host, Teacher Dan Arvin V. Almero, guro mula sa La Filipina National High School, na taus-pusong nagpapasalamat sa aming punong guro, Ginong Jeffrey C. Villarosa, at sa aming MAPE coordinator, Ginong Reggie P. Limsan and Ms. Rochelle P. Limerva. Mga kasamang guro sa La Filipina National High School at sa inyo na aming masugid na tagapakinig. Maraming salamat po. Magkita-kita po tayo muli sa susunod na leksyon. Bye-bye!